Hello, hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you all. Just final checks and then we'll be live with a very special stream this week. Looking forward to this one for quite a while and I hope you are too. Just one moment and we'll be live.
Human settlements face attack by unknown forces.
This is the tip of the iceberg.
Someone needs to get to the bottom of it.
You may travel with us and access our secret places. This universe is merely their dream. One day, all this will disappear with their waking.
Human? Helping us?
No more. I won't let anyone start another war.
Your tongues may mislead us. Perhaps you mislead yourselves.
Lift up to the light the grains of sand that formed you.
May the peace of the ancients be upon us all, at last.
Get to an escape pod!
The portal is closing. Brethren, flee while you may.
My God. A terrible miracle.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good afternoon. We have a special day today. You might have just caught it there in that trailer, which is the release date for Wrath of the Ancients, coming your way in 5 weeks' time, or just over 5 weeks' time. May the 12th, you boys and girls can dive in and have some fun with our new expansion. Ooh, it's looking good. Absolute cracking trailer there that the team have put together. I absolutely love it. I've watched it so many times. So, yes... new expansion. Good evening, everyone. Anyway, saying hello in the chats and everything. We do have a very special stream. Not only is it the day of release date reveal, it is also the day that we've got a very special guest with us. In this case, Yoon, who plays our character Tareen. And we're very much looking forward to speaking to him in a little while. But first things first, I'm going to kind of give you guys a choice. So whatever you want me to do is kind of your choice. We can either carry on with a little bit of my normal hard gameplay for about 30 minutes or so, or here's the other options. Do you want me to go in with the Wraith from the new expansion and fly around a couple of the areas that we've already seen? I'm not going to spoil it, but you've kind of got that choice. Which do you want to see? Would you rather see some Wraith and new areas coming, or do you want to see me probably carry on and die in my normal playthrough? Which would you like to do? So I'm going to leave it up there for you. So yeah, Wrath of the Ancients, heading your way May the 12th. So not long to wait. The team are busy at work, really doing some hard stuff, hard graft as we call it. Yeah, definitely. Oh, say somebody wants to make sure that we want to see me die, so they want me to say playing more, probably no more normal. We've got another one for normal, not too many spoilers. Yeah, Slowing, I won't be doing too many spoilers. There's 2 areas that we've already shown before, and obviously we've shown the Wraith ship before as well. Raziel over on YouTube. So YouTube are saying the Wraith, okay, play. Oh, Tala. See, we're now getting kind of balanced now. We're kind of a 50-50 on this. So yeah. Let's see. I think we might leave it in with Lee's hands. Should we give Lee the option? RFG Lee, come on. I know you're there. I know. What would you like to see? Would you like to do the normal playthrough, or shall we fire up the dev build with the Wraith ship? RNG time. I love it. RNG. It's like pick a number. We had this before, Lee. We had this before. Oh dear. Right, toss coin time. Do you know, I actually don't have a coin, but there you go. Right, okay, I'm going to kind of toss a coin. It's actually my lens cap for my my camera. So if it says Sony, which is going to call heads, we'll do the normal playthrough. Okay. Oh, it's tails. So we're going to be looking at the Wraith. So we're going to look at the load. Right, let me get that loaded up. We'll get that fired up, shall we? As we bring the game in. Wraith o'clock, indeed. Indeed, it is Wraith o'clock. Right. Let's get this loaded up. So how are you all? Have you had a good week? Have you had a very good time? It's like I told you, make a wheel. I do need to make a wheel, actually, Spook. You need to remind me. Give me some information. I will make that. There we go. Right, let's bring this in. Right, game sound. There we go. Okie dokie. Right. So, just as a warning, as always, when we're playing on the dev build, you will see things that are probably incomplete. You will see things that are still being worked on, and you still might see things that cause me to crash. That is what live game development is all about. It can be tricky. It can be difficult. So if you do see anything, don't panic. Yeah, let's see. So let's have a look at Shakut Waystations, shall we? Now, we've seen this before, and it features quite heavily in our trailer because it is quite an amazing looking area. The art team always knock it out of the park, and we're so lucky to have such a dedicated team that can bring the visuals to hand so lovely. Right, let's get there. Let's turn that off. Let's have a little fly around, shall we? So, if you've not seen the Wraith ship, here you are. This is the Wraith ship in all its glory. A slightly different colour to what you've seen before. I have tweaked my coloration a little bit more, which I think is rather splendid. Let's just tweak my game sound just a smidge. So blasting everybody's ears off. But how do these Waystations look? I think they look rather spectacular, if you ask me. The sound effects, everything about these is just huge and on such a level. It really is on such a level. And it's going to be a very dramatic place to come to, even from the start. Now, what would be quite good, I think anyway, is we give ourselves a little bit of a closer look at the Wraith, shall we? I know we've done this before, but I do think it's a very pleasant looking ship, a very nice one that I think you're all going to enjoy. When we had Jan on during the last stream, we did talk quite extensively about the ship and what it's going to bring to the game. And it's going to be one of those that's going to have a learning phase to it. I don't want to say it's going to be impossible or anything like that, but I think to understand the benefits of the build and how you can really get the best out of it will take some people a little while. I'm not saying everybody, because we've got some absolutely fantastic pilots who will pick this up very, very quickly. But we do need to obviously earn its trust and the abilities of the ship, because at first it'll feel a little bit cumbersome, but it'll also feel very strong once you kind of unlock it. If you've not seen it, do check out our last stream as well. Like I said, we did talk extensively with Jan around what's coming with the Wraith, and we're still obviously in process of that, some little tweaks here and there. Yes, just a reminder as well for, as Lee's just putting there in the chat, if you want to ask June, who we're going to be speaking to in a bit, some of the questions about voice acting and being an actor and everything else, please do throw them into the chat. We're going to be bringing them into the conversation as well. And if you've got any questions about the Wrath of the Ancients or anything to do with Everspace 2, do give that a good throw in Lee's direction, because he's collating all the questions. We've got some questions already lined up to ask June in a little bit, which we're looking forward to. But if we've got any from the chat, then absolutely do hit us up. For that, just checking, we've got nothing else on there. Cool. So yeah, that's one brief glimpse at the look of the Wraith. I can't wait for you boys and girls to get your hands on it. I really do think you're going to enjoy it. It's a different kind of looking ship, definitely. I do think it's really kind of aggressive and really nice as well, in the same way. Can you see the cockpit? Do you want to see the cockpit? I think we can show the cockpit. Now, again, I'm just going to say, I don't know if this is totally final. The team is still working on it. It possibly is, but we will definitely go into the cockpit. There you go. So it's quite an open cockpit in terms of there's a lot of glass. But again, still work in progress. We're still working, even though we're 5 weeks out, we're still making adjustments, changes, and a lot of work is still going into the project. So anything here may tweak, it may change. I've disappeared, which is very strange, but there you go. It's mind control. Nursting, yeah, it's absolutely mind controlled. Didn't you know all the ships are mind controlled? Oh, I thought everybody knew that. But yeah, this is obviously the cockpit view, which I think is very, very nice. Gives you good all-round visuals. And if you're on PC, obviously, if you hold down Alt, you can then pivot your head around as much as you like. Spook nights. Oh no, caution tape. Yeah, I love it. I love that. It would be really, really cool, that, wouldn't it? To have some caution tape. I say, well, let's have a little look-see at the actual Waystations, shall we? Let's have a little nosy at these up close and personal. Now, I think here is a good sense of scale of these Waystations, because when we look there at these Okar ships, and then you look at the size of the Waystation, that is huge. That is huge. And there's a lot of activity going on. Obviously, there's the shielding that happens. I'm not going to tell you what all that's about, but you never know. And then we've got the close-up of the Okar ships as well, the corvettes. Yeah, looking good, looking good. Yeah, Lee has highlighted there as well the soundtrack. I'm just going to jump away a little bit from the station because of the pulsing of that shielding and everything. But the new soundtrack that we've got coming with the expansion, Gera and Lucas have absolutely knocked it out of the park. We're really, really looking forward to caressing your ears with a wonderful soundtrack, which is going to be coming your way on May the 12th as well. Omar, release date and price. Yeah, as people are saying, the release date is the May the 12th. Now, just bear with me, just while I get that. Yeah, okay, I've got it there. The Wrath of the Ancients will be priced at $29.99 US dollars, €29.99 euros, and $24.99 in English pounds. And then Japanese yen is 3,900. Obviously, other currencies will be available as well. So, yeah. But that is going to be the price. Kanuko says that, to be honest, the soundtrack has always been one of their favourites. Fun for driving the sports car on the highway too. That's cool. I like that. I like that. Sticking on a bit of Everspace 2 soundtrack, heading down the highway. I like it. I like this. There's some questions that we've come in. Obviously, we've got some that are going to be for June in a little bit. Kanuko over on YouTube. I'm going to answer these on the fly as we go. What's it like being twice as smart as every other Okar? Wow. I don't know if that's aimed at me, but I'm not too sure. But I think you might be wanting that one to be answered by June maybe later on, as his character Tareen. That would be an interesting one. I like that. And then, okay, so these are voice acting ones. I can see that, yeah. It is, yes. I've seen another question that's just gone through. It must be a big expansion, yeah. We've kind of revealed that there's going to be 4 explorable systems. Okay, one of them you've been to very briefly, which is Aethon. We've had a look at 2 of the others, and then one of them we haven't really spoken about much, which we're going to leave for you to probably explore on your own, because there's obviously a lot of storyline that's tied in with that as well. So we're not going to be doing that. But yeah, it's a rather sizable expansion. A big expansion, yeah. They are big. Now I'm just going to go into this little thing. So this is all the power that's been generated into here. How cool does this look? We've got a bit of a close-up here. We don't often get this close-up, but that's a nice looking. I mean, even if you didn't understand what it was all about, you'd just be in awe of what the team have created, because that looks fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And I think the team, as always, do knock it out of the park. I keep saying this because I'm just in awe of the wizards that we have back in Hamburg, because they do such an amazing job. So I can't really grumble with how I'm so lucky for showing these things off. And there we go. There's a nice little Corvette just heading into dock down there, under its own path. Right. That's a funky looking stress ball. That's a very good analogy. I like that. Yeah, that's an interesting stress ball. Yo, I love it. Yeah, right. So we've got a couple of questions specifically about the game. I know this is a question, but I don't know if we've ever got a confirmation or how, or if the level cap is increasing. Any information on this? This is from Jack Savage on YouTube. Now, my understanding currently is that there will be no level cap increase. Okay. That's as far as I'm aware. I don't think that's going to be changing, but just to put it out there, because obviously we're 5 weeks away, my understanding is that there is not a level cap increase. There's many reasons for that, and sometimes it's, I think, easy just to go, hey, let's just push numbers up, and it doesn't always necessarily translate into a better experience. Now, we are going to be bringing other things into the game, and I'm not going to spoiler it because we've got a lot of content to reveal to you between now and launch, which we are going to be doing, by the way, where we'll be talking about these different things that are coming. Okay, so whilst we can't say too much now, there are going to be some changes in the DMZ, not only in everything that kind of happens, but also with you as the player. Bigger numbers are for improving the experience in auto clickers. It's a difficult one to choose, and it's one that the team have kind of deliberated over time and again. And is it a case of, yeah, push numbers up, everybody's like, going to be happy? No, because they feel like they're in the same place and they're just having to redo the same thing, like kill things, more kill things. Oh, I'm doing things again. Camouflaro over on Twitch with like 4 systems, but how detailed are the areas compared to what we know? That is something I can't talk about. We've shown off some of the areas within the systems, but I can't really talk about too much because I don't want to be revealing too much of what kind of happens. So it's very, very difficult. I'd love to tell you everything, but I do want to keep some things back for you boys and girls to find out on May the 12th as well. So, we've got to keep things a little bit spicy. Starscream, we've just seen that one in the chat. Any chance you may add PSVR to support someday? That is probably not going to happen. And I'll be quite honest about it. We have discussed this before. VR is a very difficult thing to do and do it right. We did do it with EVERSPACE 1. And it took a lot of dev time. And it does take a lot of dev time. Now, one thing to consider, and I think I did mention it in the last stream, VR, with the amount of development time and resources that need to be thrown their way, is very, very difficult to do because you know that you could be doing other things with the game because of that dev time. VR, in no matter which way you kind of look at it, is a niche market because of the hardware requirements and how much cost it is to actually create a VR experience. So you can appreciate, as a small team, we have to focus on the bigger picture rather than a very niche product, which we are. Unfortunately, we're a space game. Lots of people love space games, but it's not a huge market. So doing something that's very niche within a smaller market is very, very difficult for a team like ours. Kanuko, thank you very much. Yeah, EVERSPACE 1, we do appreciate that, absolutely. And it's a very nice affidavit that people still play EVERSPACE 1 now. I'm just trying to find through some of these questions as well while we're still looking at these wormholes at Shakut Waystation. Okay, that one's for thing. Bearded Frog would like to know, what does Viridium taste like? Is it like minty? Well, you'd probably get that idea, wouldn't you? Because you'd be looking at the coloration of that, and you'd be thinking, maybe it could be. I mean, it does look like a bit like chopped chip mint, to be fair, and I'm not a fan of that. To be fair, I'm not a fan. Sakib, would we need to upgrade to a new PC to play this DLC? No, if you can play the existing game, whatever your system is, we do encourage people to download and play the demo, just so that you can see how your PC performs. Then that is probably the best way. Omar Farouk over on YouTube, how about new legendaries? That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. Oh yeah, this one is going to be a good question. I'll kind of throw it out here and I'll do a reminder at the end. Florey's just actually asked over on Twitch, will there be an extra stream on the 9th of the 5th, 12th of the 5th, or the only 2 normal streams until the launch? Now, currently, we're doing a cadence of every 2 weeks for our streams. In 2 weeks' time, there will not be a stream. Yeah. I know, you're probably all disappointed. However, the reason for that is that I'm not here. I'm on leave. I'm on vacation for a week. So I can't be here to do the stream. I know I should just like completely quit my vacation time and just come and do the stream. However, I did say to Lee and Michael in a meeting this week that I didn't want to leave you that long. So next Friday, okay, a week today, we will be doing another stream. It is going to be a shorter stream, but we're going to be showing some stuff, so you want to be there, okay? And then as soon as we have everything pinned down, yes, we're going to be having some more streams. You're going to be sick of my face, to be honest. Up and around, up to launch and then beyond launch as well, okay? So there's going to be more streams, so you're going to be absolutely sick to death of seeing me and hearing my voice. Yeah, I know everybody on YouTube's like, vacation, how dare you? How dare you go on vacation? I'm like, yeah. It is what it is, you know. So I've got to have some time off with my family, honestly. Evan Dahl over on Twitch would like to know, should I finish the game before getting the expansion? You don't need to. What we have, and we had with the Titans DLC, is that even when you were partway through leveling, some of the side missions and some of the missions would open up to you from that point. We're going to have the same with Wrath of the Ancients, where some of the side missions and some of the missions are going to carry on from midway through your playthrough. So you don't have to be at level 30. However, whatever level you get to with, if you complete, because some players are very, very good, and I mean that in sincerest, they can just fly through the content. They know the ways, they can almost speedrun. So they may get to the higher level content at maybe level 25, 26. I don't know what the lowest is we've ever had of somebody with a level. But from that point on, you would be able to then continue on with the story. So the majority of the main storyline for Wrath of the Ancients is going to happen after. Okay. After the main story from the base game is kind of completed. So just bear that in mind, but it's not a necessity. You don't have to race to the end. We want you to enjoy that experience, okay? So don't go thinking, oh, I've got to play for 10 hours a day just to get there before the DLC drops. It's not the case. Absolutely not the case. Just enjoy the whole ambience of what we're bringing to you. Johan's saying you should definitely come to visit Disney World with an incredible experience with friends and family. I've actually been to Disneyland in Florida a couple of times. Yeah, wholeheartedly. Lee's just saying, yeah, as a manager, he thinks vacation is super important. Yeah, I'm just taking a good week off just to recharge my batteries before we go headlong into the launch period of the thing. Right, do you want to? Shall I quickly just switch to the swamp? Shall I switch to the swamp? Let's do that. Now I will just need to just do a little intermission because I just need to set something up. Back in a moment. Don't go nowhere. So I'm just loading in the swamp. Just got to load up the swamp. We've got to have a little look-see at the swamp, haven't we? But I've got to just set some things up in there first. There we go. Look at that. Well, let's bring the game sound in. So, we're at the swamp. Yes! This different environment, I think, is a very unique environment for the game, which I don't think... I certainly wasn't expecting it. When I got to see it from the team, I was like, wow. So I'm not going to give you any backstory, any kind of reason for why you come here. I mean, there might be kind of something big and glowing over there that might give you a sort of hint, but hey, who knows? Gary Rodriguez over on YouTube would like to know, will new gear drop in specific systems, incursions and rifts, or will some gear only drop in mission challenges like in Titans? There will be some specific things, but we're not going to be kind of locking too much behind separate things. So again, I can't say too much just yet because we are going to be revealing a lot of things that are going to be coming your way. But don't worry, we will get to those before we launch. So keep your eyes peeled. Blog posts, streams, everything else, we're going to be having a look at those. Raziel 317 on YouTube would like to know, will official Tobii eye tracker support ever come to the game? Now, this is something I did ask the team a long time ago, and honestly, it was something that we just weren't able to fit in at the time. I would have to re-look at that, whether we'd be able to. I don't know if that's going to be a viable option, though, in all honesty. Again, it's just kind of a small team, and then putting dev time into it, it's trying to jiggle a lot of things around to make it work. So I can't say for definite. I will reach out to the team on Monday and see, is it something we could do? It may be a no, but hey, I'll ask the question, and this is part of my job. If you've got questions that you want to ask, if I don't know, then I'll definitely have a conversation. Omer, one day I will leak something. I'm just very careful because I know Lee's here all the time now. Excelsior over on YouTube has just asked, are you planning to add new music to the OST on Steam? That would be good, wouldn't it? But yes, there is currently a second smaller official soundtrack that is planned. But more details on that in a bit. Yeah, at least a watchful eye. He's like, one day I'm going to drop one in though. I'm going to absolutely scare the hell out of Lee. I'll be like, oh yeah, you remember that thing that we were going to talk about? I'm going to talk about it now. Lee's going to get on the first flight from Canada. He'll be like, I don't think so. But yeah, we do appreciate that people do like the music to the game, just to go back to the official soundtrack. And we love it too. We get to hear it so often, and I love this soundtrack just because it's very tribal, and I think Gero and Lucas have done a wonderful job. Added into the environments, you've got a visual and audio feast. Talaha, and we've been waiting for years for fishing. Yeah, that would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? Fishing. I'll have to have a word with the team and say, can we fit that in? Nice spot to fish some stuff up it. Yeah. I'm not too sure what you'd actually get, to be fair. I don't know if you'd get anything nice. It might be something that's of maybe not exactly what you're looking. Kayaking, yes, that's what you want to be doing here. Doing a bit of kayaking, avoiding probably the wonderful lightning, which would probably kill you in an instant. Just don't fish. yeah, we might not get fish. We might get everything else, but people still want Arc 9000 Leviathan fishing. That's some big fish. That is some big fish. People are going to be like, I wonder if EVERSPACE is going to bring out a DLC just for fishing, and we'll be like, really? Okay. Petter just called. Yeah, exactly. Dear. A couple of questions there. We will kind of answer this one as well before we have just a little quick fly through here. Any plans for mod support? Now, this has been asked a couple of times, probably more than a couple of times over the year, and we're kind of very linear in how we approach this. And if we were going to do mod support, it would be a case of we want to do it and we want to do it right. And in all honesty, let me just go back into this so we get a nice view. The development time to do that correctly is difficult. Again, with the limitations in the team size and the work that we have to do and everything else, I would be very surprised if we do official mod support. Again, it's the question I can always ask the team, but at this time, I don't believe it is planned. But that's been something we've kind of consistently said ever since EVERSPACE 2 launched, that it'd be nice for us to do it. It's one of those nice things that we would love to throw in there, but can we do it? Can we realistically achieve it and do it well? But we just don't know. At this point, I would think it was very unlikely. So one little quick fly through here, because I know you boys and girls want to just see maybe a little bit up close of this little tower. Because that's a very strong beam, isn't it? What's that doing? Where's that going? What's it doing? All these questions will be answered on May the 12th, if you obviously get the Wrath of the Ancients DLC. I will admit, I know we've been talking about kind of release dates and what I can talk about and everything. The amount of times I've got so close to actually saying the release date, and I'm like, I've nearly bitten my tongue off when I've realised, which is actually quite quite scary. But yeah, it's going to be coming your way soon, in just over 5 weeks' time. Talahar says, if I've learned anything from sci-fi movies, the Sky Beam is the final boss. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be interesting. That'd be cool. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Right. Last question from Sloreen over on there. Will there be an ES2 Legendary Edition that includes all the DNC and the rest of it? This is something I'd have to discuss with Lee. I'm not sure. Oh, actually, he's just put some information. He's just put some information for me. That's good. I like that. He's put some cool information in. So yes, on Xbox and PlayStation, Steam and GOG bundles will likely happen. There we go. You've got some news there, folks. You've got some brand new news. So yeah, Legendary Edition that includes all the DLC. So yes, on Xbox and PlayStation, Steam and GOG bundles will likely happen. Okay, likely happen. Okay, so don't go saying and everything else. We'll have to see on that one. But if you've got any more questions, just okay. We'll answer this last one before we switch over, because we're going to talk to June very, very shortly. Bearded Frog would like to ask, are we still considering making ES2 plushies? Sort of teased a few streams back. That would be really cool. It would be really, really nice. I know we do kind of look at potential options. Just don't say anything about board games to Lee. Lee's a board game fanatic. He loves that. So Anything with a board game, he'd be there. Yeah. But, right. I'm just going to stop this down because I'm going to talk to June in a very, very, very short moment. So we're just going to have to go set things up. More merch. That's exactly what we're going to do. So, right, while I do that, let's just go to the intermission. And you can follow us on all those wonderful places while I just get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of that, and then do that. And then I can look at that because I need that. Of course we do. Bearded Frog's like, yes, Everspace 2 board game. Shut up and take my frog coins. Everybody would like that. Anybody would like that. Absolutely. Right. Okay. So, are you sitting comfortably, everybody? And hopefully June is as well. She'll just do that and it should be good. Should be good to go. Right. Let's switch over to the correct place. There we go. Right, here we are. Just bear with us. So, I've been looking forward to this for a very long time, and we've managed to make it happen. And we've been very, very lucky to have June join us for an interview to talk about everything to do with being a voice actor, being a theatre actor, being a TV actor. Yes, he's been on TV as well, but he's predominantly a voice actor. And he voices Tareen. So if you do have any questions, please throw them into the chat. But I'm just going to bring June in now. And then there he is. Welcome, June. Thank you very much for joining us. How are you?
Hello, Gary. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. As I've said, I've been so looking forward to this and getting you on just to talk about voice acting and everything else. And I've been feverishly typing away the questions that I want to ask you, but we've obviously got quite a few from the audience as well, which I kind of hope you don't mind answering for us in a little while. So, as a little introduction to June, he does obviously voice Tareen, but he's also done a lot of other voices within the gaming world and the entertainment industry. You've been in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Genshin Impact, Black Desert Online, obviously Everspace 2, Sakamoto Days, and Solo Leveling for the anime. You're a talented man. You're a talented man.
I'm a grateful person. Certainly, grateful is the leading adjective here.
Yeah. I love it. So now, it's always interesting. People are very kind of voyeuristic. They want to know how you become whatever role you have in life, whether you're a voice actor, whether you're a normal actor or whatever. But what is your life kind of? Or how did your life pan out? Because originally you were from South Korea, but at a youngish age, when you were a teenager, you moved to the US. And then how from that point did you get into or think, hang on, I like acting, or I want to be a voice actor?
Freshman year, I was 14 years old and 16 years old. And my English teacher then, out of the random blue, said, hey, why don't you try acting?
Yeah.
And Miss Johnson, I still remember her name. Miss Johnson was this 20-something, cool. So I'm going to do what she says 100%. So I got into it. And turned out it was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I had hopes and aspirations of being a computer science person and math or business or whatever.
Yeah.
But I absolutely fell in love with it and ended up doing theater all throughout high school.
Really?
Went to college as a theater performance major,
mm-hmm.
and then switched to education halfway through. The immigrant inside of me who wants stability and house in the suburbs, a couple of cars in the driveway.
Yeah.
That desire couldn't be stamped down as it turns out.
Yeah.
So here we are. And I worked as a high school theater educator for 11 years. And I got to have my stable job and
mm-hmm.
a family and a house in the suburbs, but still in touch with acting.
Yeah.
And in 2016, I made the pivot to voice acting. And it had been absolute happiness since then.
Cool. So how did, looking at, obviously you had this love for acting, But how did you then kind of pivot to voice acting? What was the spark there? What did actually make you think, oh, hang on, I could do that? Was it just somebody said something to you, or what?
Well, I had been told, as many voice actors do, in this very like subjective way, I've been told all my life, like, you have a great voice for radio, so I don't have a face for TV. I see. Like this is one of those conversations. You have a great voice. You should be on radio. Blah blah blah. Yeah. That thought was always in my head. And in 2016, I ended up losing my job, and I was laying in bed, like, okay, what do we do next? And then this thought of voice acting came to me, and I said to my wife, like, I think I want to try voice acting and kind of go back to acting, the thing that I used to do. Yeah. And she said to me without hesitation, like, yeah, you should do that. And I literally owe her my career and my life for that precise moment in 2016. Wow.
Well, thank you very much to your wife for giving you that spark and saying, go do it. Because obviously you've embellished our game of EVERSPACE 2 as the voice of Tareen and everything. And anybody that's just joining us, yes, this is Yoon, who plays our character Tareen. He's generously given up some of his time to join us and have a conversation around being Tareen, but also the whole kind of episode and journey of being a voice actor and an actor. Speaking to that, Yoon, I think a lot of people were very interested to find out how do you go about getting a voice actor gig? You know, what's the process? You know, how do you start? How, you know, castings, recordings, everything that goes with it. How do you do it?
Number one, at the very foundational level, there has to be a desire and a love and dedication and commitment to acting, whether it be on stage, on camera, or wherever else. Before voice acting can start, one has to identify a desire and a happiness for acting. And for those folks who need it in their bloodstreams, there are courses available, workshops and curriculum out there available to start that journey, and everyone can. And once the acting level is up, once the home studio is set up, once agents are under your belt, and you've made connections within the industry with those in the roles for casting and whatnot, and then it's the audition process, whether online for a small company or whatever projects, or something as big and awesome like EVERSPACE 2, the audition process begins. And then you audition, and hopefully you've done, you've displayed your training and your voice and your capability as an actor, and they'll have chosen you. Then the hard part is over, and you show up and you get to have fun.
that is always the best bit, isn't it? If you can have fun. And it's kind of a question that I've got later for you, but I'm jumping now. From reading your kind of biography on your website and everything that I've seen online, I followed you, and I'm not kind of stalker, but I've followed you for quite a while, where we have had interactions and everything. It seems to be that happiness is definitely a goal for you in whatever you do, and it's almost like at the core of what you want from life. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely accurate. The college degree that I received is theater education. In fact, I hold a still very much valid California teaching credential in theater arts.
Cool.
And over these decade plus of time of being a theater teacher, it's a happiness that I've actualized in this manner, and this feels like a chapter 2 for me when I'm building my career and moving forward as an actor to fulfill that side of my happiness. And indeed, the passion, the authentic desire to be in this space in the world as an educator as well as an actor. Really, if there was a life gauge for happiness, I'm hitting the red right now.
Oh wow, that's great to hear, because it means that you're enjoying what you're doing. And obviously, there's a lot of hard work with anything. If you go to work and you enjoy that, is it really work because you're enjoying it so much? And you know, from your outlook, you've hit gold, haven't you? Really, so Well
tell
done.
people that I'll never retire.
No.
Like people retire to stop working so they can go do the things that they want to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't apply to me.
No,
I'm gonna
no.
be that 80-year-old voice actor guy voicing your grandpas in video games.
Yeah. Absolutely. We love that. We love that. So obviously demo reels, castings and recordings, that's kind of your bread and butter. I suppose the demo reel is probably one of the most important things that you can do and get that right, whether it sounds right or whether it's pitched correctly for the kind of role that you're going for.
Very much so. Any potential clients that may be interested in hiring a voice actor, the first place they'll go is the website after they listen to the audition and they're considering hiring you. And the website should contain, indeed, that video game demo, that animation demo, that commercial demo, so on and so forth. And it really is the calling card, the business card for all of us out here. And any good demo will get you into places where the doors will open for characters, for video games, and other genres of voiceover work. And because of that reason, it is indeed a calling card. And because of that reason, the demo has to be indeed of quality. And of recent and relevant spots and trends and authentic representations of your capabilities.
Excellent. For those of you who don't know, anyway, you can go see June's website. I'm just going to put it in the chats there for everyone to go have a look. So all of a sudden, we're going to be taking down June's website because we're going to be almost doing like a DDoS attack on it, where everybody's going to be going to look at his website.
Oh no!
But go there, you can see exactly kind of the process and how much of a. And I want to kind of say this nicely because everybody does seemingly in the voiceover community think of you as the voiceover dad. So how did that come about? Is that literally just because of kind of age, but how you encourage other people and you're kind of like a father figure to other actors within that remit?
I'm not that old. All right, Gary, what the hell?
It's all right. It's all right. It was nice having you on, June, anyway. Never to be speaking to again.
I'm out of here. No, it's not only as a colleague inside an industry, as an educator, I also take on inadvertently take on the role of a mentor to some degree. I don't have any active mentorships that I'm running. It's not a curriculum or a program that I'm offering. I just exist inside the community, and over time have gained people's trust and apparently the advice that I handed out were well informed and well intentioned, and certainly it helped many people out. And again, it's part of my happiness to educate and to guide and to mentor in this way. And I think over time, the reputation stacked on top of one another. And somebody said, "You're like a dad." I am. I am a father of 2 boys here at home. And all the students I've ever taught over my course of decade plus of high school educator positions, various in the various areas. I do have. It feels like certainly I do have a countless number of children out there doing their thing. I think that's kind of an educator, isn't it? That you always feel that they are your children. That you're kind of giving them skills that they're going to be using in their life. I mean, my wife is a teacher as well here in the UK, and that's very much the thing. She has that same kind of symbiosis with the children, is that she's very parental towards them, and I think that's just endemic for being any kind of educator. Just to ask, and it's something that I'm interested in. Before you go into the recording studio, or when you're in the recording studio, do you actually have any kind of techniques to warm your voice up? I mean, you have an amazing kind of voice that almost is just smooth and natural, but I'm presuming that you do still need to warm it up and make it sound the best it can. Indeed. Before the infusion of the 3 giant mugs of coffee that I drink every morning, I'm useless. Absolutely useless.
So coffee is the thing.
It's very wobbly, indeed. If I'm headed into a studio, there's a drive for me, and I'll literally sit in the car, sitting in the notorious LA traffic, and I'll sing. It's karaoke hour, and it certainly brings the joy, the energy, the enthusiasm into my body as in the car, and I'm warming up my voice. and it works every time. Wake up my face in this whole thing, and people on the other side looking at me like, "What is that guy doing?" It happens every time, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Here at home, if I'm recording in a studio, the booth behind me, I'll also go through a series of mouth stretching, face stretching exercises, and sing. It really is the best warm up for anything.
Yeah, I think it's certainly when you're doing any kind of voiceover work. Even myself, when I have to do the voiceover for our some of our trailers or some of our blog posts or blog videos, etc., I do have to warm my voice up, because sometimes you can go and record something, it doesn't sound anything like what it was before, and that literally is because you haven't warmed up, or as you say, it's not just your vocal, it's your muscles in your face and everything that need to be warmed up. But that's really interesting. So I think we're gonna have to start up a bit of a karaoke session before I do any more recording. You heard it here. June says that's what you got to do. You got to do some karaoke. Yeah. So we'll do some karaoke streams.
Make it happen. Come on now.
I love that. One thing I'd like to ask is that obviously you have a lot of conversation within our game where you're talking to other characters. Now, you're not normally there with that other character. It's a case of you have to record that as if somebody is there opposite you. Now, obviously, you might do recordings remotely, or you may go to a studio, but how do you actually kind of imagine, or do you imagine that person is there to have that conversation with? Is that how you literally just visualize them?
It's a combination of two things. Indeed, the lines are just words on a document. There's nothing but words. You know what I mean? So the training that one undergoes as an actor to bring those little scribbly things on a page to life, to breathe life into it, literally, is the training that every voice actor brings into a booth to utilize and to show. The second half of that is the director. The dev, whoever it is that may be in the session, that has the eye on the bigger picture of it all. Who can who has the vision, who has envisioned this conversation, this scene, this fight sequence, whatever it might be, and for the direction to come down, for me to do my part. As a part of the whole. I'm only one cog in the giant machine that is EVERSPACE 2, and I do my best to bring my interpretation of Tareen as best I can. But some lines are some interpretation that I might bring is not fitting to that particular vision of the director at the time, and they'll ask for revisions, and let's try it this way and that way. Let's try this and that to really finesse my abilities that I bring to the table, so that together we can create something really cool like EVERSPACE 2.
Yeah. See, it's kind of mind-blowing. I think a lot of people outside the industry would just think, oh yeah, they just go in and read the line and that's it and it's done. But I can imagine, even with my recordings, I can never generally get it done in one shot. It's like that never happens. I've always got to do like 2 or 3, and then we're kind of like, oh yeah, that sounds good. So for you to say that, it's good to hear. I say I'm doing something right, seemingly, anyway. Tareen is a character for us in our game. He has quite a strong presence because of the whole story that goes on through EVERSPACE 2. He has this kind of gravitas in his voice and a certain demeanor. Do you feel that you are similar to Tareen, or is it just the kind of character that we've made you become? Can you see any resemblance in Tareen in yourself? You're definitely not an Okar, by the way, but
Well, Tareen is the best character that I've ever played in my entire career. Of course, without any doubts here. No, I do mean it. Tareen has had an immense effect in my work as an actor and as a person, in fact. And this is a common occurrence. At least for me, this is a common occurrence where, philosophically speaking, I give a piece of myself to the story, to Tareen, and in return I get to take a piece of Tareen with me. And in that sense of the term, indeed, I think I am like Tareen to some degree. Certainly not an alien, unfortunately, perhaps. But the importance that he places on the things that he treasures and values.
Yeah.
The demeanor, certainly. I'm at certain points. I'm a very animated person when it comes to certain things, and I'm more stoic and passive, and definitely more conservative in nature, analytical perhaps. But there are qualities that I equate of my own that are indeed Tareen, and there are qualities where we differ, certainly. And that can be said about any character that any actor ever plays. But it's those connecting points between the actor and the character where the authenticity of me really shines through Tareen, and where qualities of Tareen and every character that I've ever played in my career certainly leaves a piece with me in that way too.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I think I probably speak for everybody in the chat as well as myself. Just listening to your voice, we just drift to Tareen. We just see Tareen, because it's, even though obviously we have some effect for the Okar kind of language within the game, but it's just you just listen and you can see, you just have a story read by Tareen. You'd just be asleep because it'd be so soothing. You wouldn't need to do anything. So I think that's your next calling. We'll do bedtime stories with Tareen.
Let's make it happen. I'm down.
Lee, you heard it here first. There we go. We got another idea. But speaking of the game, obviously, and I know this because I've watched you a few times, you've actually played and streamed EVERSPACE 2. Did you enjoy it? I think the big question is, you can say no. You know, we can take feedback, but did you actually enjoy when you played it?
With games like these, and about the voice, just to go back just a little bit, I would say this is my natural speaking voice, and Tareen is not too far away. A lot of my characters are not too far away from my natural voice, and when I'm in session for Tareen, things get a little softer, and I think this is more where I land with Tareen. Certainly, there are more aggressive moments that come in, and more passive moments that come in, right? But it's minute little adjustments that are just on the inside of my authenticity, just on the voice part. About EVERSPACE 2, indeed, I have started this game and have played it a number of hours, indeed. And my gamer tendency when it comes to upgradable ships and things of this nature, upgradable anything really, is to remain in the starting area and grind until I have an OP thing that I can go out there and breeze my way through. If anybody here is a fan of Final Fantasy VII, the original, the OG version, and if you know about the underground tunnel where the subway trains run, if you go backwards, here's a little tip, everybody. If you go backwards 7 or 8 screens down, there's this area where unlimited enemies appear. And you can grind there for a month and reach level 70, 80 before you venture out of Midgar. So in the same analogy, I stayed in before I hit the first big gate. You know what I'm talking about? I stayed and grinded until I had this very OP ship that I have possession of now. And in the last play, I finally ventured out of the first warp gate. So that's where I am right now.
I love it. I mean, it's a valid tactic to a degree. We think with whatever way you play our game, as long as you enjoy it. Now, there's kind of certain elements which we kind of say, hey, you kind of need to push on a little bit here, you know, so you won't get XP, you know, and you do need to upgrade your weapons, etc., and make yourself a little bit stronger. But it's certainly a valid tactic. But we do want everybody to kind of move out of CETO as soon as they can, kind of thing. But there is then a significant jump, and we're very mindful as game devs that we don't kind of push people into something that's then uncomfortable. So your method of, hey, I want to get as strong as I can before I go into this next region is perfectly valid, and we do encourage other people to do that as well. And speaking to Final Fantasy, yes, I remember the OG version on the PlayStation many years ago, swapping out the CDs and trying to get through. Yeah, that was my first venture in Final Fantasy VII, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think it'll always stay there for me as a highlight. when you play the game, and then obviously you interact with your own character, and you meet Tareen, how do you actually feel when you hear your voice? What kind of emotions come up when you hear that? Do you think, do you know what? I actually nailed that voice line. That is so good.
Once I fit through the doorway,
Yeah,
with my big head, then yes, no, not at all, not at all.
yeah,
From my point of view, I'm there to provide a service
Mhm.
and to be a part of a larger thing.
Mhm.
And egos about actors having egos about their performances and whatnot. Everybody can have their own position. For
Mhm.
me, I'm a part of the team. And
Mhm.
as I sit here and play the game, yes, I hear my voice in the game, but it's only a part of the story and
Mhm.
part of the experience.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't have any particular feelings of, oh, that's my voice.
Yeah.
Look how cool I am. I don't have any of
No.
that.
That's good. I know I struggle, as I've said, when I do my own voice recordings for like trailers and even the streams as well. Sometimes I have to watch back the streams, and I'm my own critic, my own worst critic when it comes to my voice, because I'm like, that sounds awful. You know, how did I get away with that? And you know, I think it's just again practice, as you've said. You know, people need to refine their their discipline essentially of whatever voice acting you are doing. It's not something that just comes natural. You know, I mean, seems like you had, because you have this gravitas in your voice and a naturality to your voice. So I think you're very, very lucky in that, and we're very lucky to have you. Switching a little bit to kind of your voice dad role again, you're very much a kind of a voice within the voice acting community, where you do workshops, various projects, you have a load of resources available that you offer out to people, and running a business yourself. How do you find the time to do all that? You know, is it just good scheduling and everything, or is it just because you have so much passion for it that you will make time for it?
It is indeed a concerted effort to streamline everything that I can and make efficient everything that I can. Indeed, it is a lot for one person, and I'm fully cognizant of that. Indeed, and as someone who has previously taken on too much, a bit of more than I could chew, in various contexts. I think part of it all is living life and understanding what one's capable of and where one's boundaries may lie. And as an older person, as you had pointed it out, young man,
Oops.
I am certainly more aware of what I can take on and what I probably should leave behind. And at my spry age of 44, I think I've hit a pretty good balance about work and life at this point.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I'm never going to live this down. I think on all the social media, I think June's going to be reminding me constantly that I mentioned how old he is. Now, to be fair, June, I actually am older than you, so you're okay there. You can call me the old man.
Get out of here, you dirty whippersnapper! I don't believe you.
I literally, and everybody kind of knows. I turned 50 last October.
Wow,
I'm 50.
Yeah. Happy birthday! Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's big.
I hit the half century. I'm glad. So
that's depressing. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. It's fine. I kind of this is one of my questions that I want to throw at you. In terms of in kind of all your acting, voice acting, whatever it is, if you could have chosen one specific role, do you have one that you would go, I wish I would have done that, or I wish that I had had that chance with that film, whatever it is? Is there anything specific?
This is a recent revelation. So I've given plenty of interviews in the past, and I've been asked this question before, and the answer had been different. But recently, I'm currently watching this anime called Shangri-La Frontier with my son, and we sit on the couch and watch the anime together. It's a father-son bonding moment.
Bonding, yeah, good.
We recently came across this character who is in charge of the library faction, guild, group, and this guy's voice has this lovely gravitas and importance and authority, and regalness to the performance of the voice, and that's something I really, really admire in the both the Japanese and the English voice actors for this character who appears as a 14-year-old magical girl.
Oh, wow. Wow.
There's a bit of an inside joke running around with myself and my communities that I will one day, Gary, voice a young anime magical girl one day. And that role had been taken out from under me, and I am quite upset about it.
Oh, okay. Well, we need to have a word with the anime community and all the producers and just like, look, there's a guy out here called Yoon who just wants to play that role. Can you just write something? It's his life.
Can we please have an anime girl in Everspace 2, please?
Yeah.
Devs?
Yeah, edit team, we need to bring it in somehow. Not entirely sure how, but we'll try and shoehorn that in. Everybody will be thinking, that sounds like Tareen. Oh dear, that'll be an interesting one. I know we spoke about obviously your voice to work in games and playing our game as well. And this is another question from me. If you do find time to play games, apart from EVERSPACE 2, what are your go-to titles? What is something that you think, I love this game, just give me half an hour and I'm going to be satiated, I'm going to enjoy that. And what is your favourite game ever?
Oh, ever. Oh, gosh, that's such a hard question. Things change as they do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My favorite games ever, as they've evolved and changed over the years. Final Fantasy series to the Spiral games to Mario Kart, even Halo, the Halos, Unreal tournaments.
Yes,
the V1 original Unreal tournaments from back in the day.
Yeah,
everything up to I'm playing through Wuthering Waves, and I'm really enjoying that right now. The story within it is absolutely phenomenal, paired with the music, and it evokes these emotions in various humans around the country, around the world, in fact, and it's just really, really well done. So along with EVERSPACE 2, I'm thoroughly enjoying Wuthering Waves right now.
Cool. So you heard it here first. June, obviously, Tareen is a gamer at heart. You know, he loves it, whatever it is, and that's what we're all here for. I think we're all gamers, whether we work in the industry or we're just, people who are watching. We're here because of games, and it's such a connectivity for so many people. Kind of brings us all together, and it's. For a lot of people, it's our happiness, and if we can foster that with our game, then all the better. Right, I'm going to switch from kind of my questions because I've been asking a load, and I know there's a lot of questions coming from our Discord and the people in the chat. So I'm going to be firing through these for you, June, and so you need to get your 44 years of kind of readiness. For this one. Right, the first one we have is from the Kraken over on Discord, and he'd like to know, he says, hello Mr. Yoon, many actors choose to work on projects based on the strength of a script. Is this also the case for voice acting, and if so, did anything about the EVERSPACE 2 script or storyline pull you in and help you get into character?
An excellent question. Voice actors, 99.9% of the time, voice actors do not get to see the script beforehand. So we have no idea what we're going into.
Okay, that's interesting.
And once we arrive in the studio, they say, here's the script, let's go. Unlike traditional acting, like theater, for example, where you're provided with a script and weeks of rehearsal time. Oh my goodness, what a luxury. We don't get that at all. So being brought on already is a big honor and a source of gratitude. And then once you're in the booth, it's just time to play, and we go.
Cool. That's quite interesting because you obviously a lot of people probably know the normal acting kind of, like as you said, you get a script and you get to kind of read through it, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, and then you can almost envisage how you would play a certain scene or say something. But obviously, if you're only getting that when you go to a booth and you're like, this is it. Oh, like okay, you're kind of learning on the job as such. an interesting one, but good. See, we're bringing out all the information now. Next question we have is again from our Discord, and this was from Pesky Husky. Greetings, Mr. Yoon. How do you manage to produce voices and sounds that fit fictional characters, and when did you realize you had a talent for voice acting?
Number one, to develop, as we all do and have as children and as in our youths, we discover things naturally and by playing, and there is a range of voices and various modifications that we can make to our instruments that make it sound in different ways as we come out, and these are simply just different applications of force and effort in various muscles and different parts of whatever that we may utilize in distinctly different manners. But one important thing to realize is that these effects and how we play this instrument, it's playing an instrument really, doesn't necessarily equate to the character. It's simply a voice. I would argue instead that what we bring in as actors and the life that we experienced, the training that we undergone, and everything that's inside our bones is what we bring to the character. And the vocal print, orally speaking, the vocal print is rather secondary.
Wow. I mean, this is such a great insight into everything, and I'm very grateful that you can impart this knowledge, and I'm sure all the people watching now as well, because I think we kind of forget that we are an instrument, whether it's a physical actor or whether it's just vocally. There's so many aspects to as a human that we can kind of bring joy and entertainment in that way. But it's amazing insight. Thank you, June, for that. I'm going to go through some of the questions that we've had live now from a lot of the audience. So we've got a few to dive through. Kanuko over on YouTube would like to ask, what's it like being twice as smart as every other Okar?
A Tuesday.
Yeah.
a normal Tuesday.
Yeah, it's just normal for June and Tareen just to be, it's just like when he wakes up in the morning, he's, the pinnacle of Okarism. Yeah, absolutely. Bearded Frog over on YouTube, he's asking, June, how did you get into voice acting? Obviously, we've kind of covered that already, but what was your first gig and what advice would you give to someone wanting to get into it?
Wow. I'm approaching 9 years in voice acting, and I quite honestly do not remember what the first gig ever was.
Why? Okay.
But I have also shared. I have done my time and have experienced and shared in the beginning in the indie space. The small creators. With their own aspirations of becoming a game developer later in life as they grow their skills. I've certainly worked with those productions as well. If you search hard enough, you may find me in those things that I've done in my earlier years. One role that comes to mind just right off the top here was a role called, I played the Satan. In this visual novel, video game about a conference for evil characters called Lovingly.
Love the concept.
It was a dating sim, and I played the barbecue loving Satan with broad shoulders and six packs and very handsome face.
That is just you to a T. Absolutely you to a T. I love that. It sounds such an intriguing game. That really does. Absolutely love that. Let's have a look. Bearded Frog again. He's just kind of asking something that we've already gone through. Is do you play the game yourself, which you obviously have done, and are you a gamer in general? And if so, what other games have you enjoyed? I know it's kind of a question that gets bandied around for people who do play games. It's like whether they kind of categorize themselves as a gamer or not a gamer. Would you fall in the category of, yeah, I'm a gamer?
A casual one.
Casual, yeah, okay.
On the periphery.
Okay.
I'm not in here with a gaming chair and intense thing that happens.
Yeah.
Casually. Indeed.
Okay. We'll go with that. I mean, I am definitely a gamer. I've been gaming since I was very, very young, and even now I get the pleasure of gaming for a job. Essentially, you know, I get to show off a game and try a game, test a game, and people seem to think that that's all I do all day. If I try and explain my job, oh, you just get to play games all day, and I'm like, I wish, I wish.
You want to talk about gamers since the beginning? Like, this is how far it goes back, kids. Ready for this? I don't remember the title, Gary.
Yeah.
But back in long time ago, there was a PC game that resembled Gladius. You remember Gladius?
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
There was a side-scrolling game called Gladius that one had to install over 16 floppy disks on a PC using MS-DOS. That's how far I go back.
That'll take a while. I go a little bit further back than that. I remember having, I think it was the Star Trek 25th Anniversary Edition that was on the Commodore Amiga. I mean, I go back to the Atari VCS, and then I went to the Commodore 64, and then the Commodore Amiga. And I remember that it was something like, I think it was some ridiculous amount, like 20-something floppy disks for this game, and it was just ridiculous. It really was. But that was the kind of thing that we had to do. None of this kind of streaming from the internet or anything. I mean, we're talking like old people here. I hate to admit it, but swapping disks in and out and loading from tape. God, I mean, some people will be like, "What do you mean from tape?" And it's like, "Yeah,
what's tape?"
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I love that. You had to get that one in. You sat there for minutes on end while you're waiting for something to load from a magnetic tape. That took a while. Right, let's carry on with these questions before I start to feel any more old. We have one from Sloreen Tetson over on YouTube. It's an interesting one. Are you always alone when you're recording, or do you actually sometimes do work with other voice actors in the room?
It depends on the genre and the production. I would say, indeed, a lot of it is solo. Ballpark 90% is solo. But there are projects that are recorded with other actors in the room, and it's much preferred because you can bounce off of each other.
Yes.
And there's a certain energy in the room when there's people, right, that you're working with. And that sort of chemistry and energy brings out the best performance out of everybody.
Yeah.
And a lot of the animation that you watch, everything from The Simpsons as they used to do it, the Animaniacs, the Batman series, the animated shows typically are recorded together. And then the animators will draw according to the performance that the voice actors gave. But for a lot of video games, audio dramas, visual novels, podcast shows, animation that are independent, and all the others pretty much records independently by one actor at a time.
Wow, yeah, I can imagine that having another person there just to bounce off and feed from the visual, not only the audio is so much better, and could be enjoyable as well if you just sat in a booth on your own. Hearing the voice direction from afar could be a little bit different. But yeah, interesting insight to that one. Question this time from Twitch. Twitch has dived in now from Magic and Sparkle. What do you most admire about Tareen, and what is the least admirable part of him as well?
The most admirable, I think, is his willingness to be himself. To pursue to execute actions and pursue the things that he himself believes is right. Whatever it may be, leaving his planet and whatnot. All the things, right?
Yes,
acting
absolutely.
according to his own principles. That's something that I certainly try to model after for my own self and the children, my kids as well. In that similar way, I've also gleaned a lot of philosophical and principle-based behaviors and code of conduct, if you will, from various characters over the years. And Tareen is definitely one of them. One thing that I dislike about Tareen perhaps is not opening up as much as he should. There's that as well. And I myself am guilty of that. I think we all are to some degree. It's difficult to open up to random people, certainly. But from independent experiences bad experiences maybe, and where things may not have gone well, it's understandable that you might not a person or character might not open up instantaneously the day you meet them, right?
Yes,
so in that way he's real too, genuine and real, very human like, even though he's not. And those are all the parts that I see in him, in me, and the parts that we share in this way.
Definitely. I mean, it is very difficult to kind of have a full-blooded kind of conversation with somebody you've just met. I mean, me and June, this is the first time we've actually spoken. We've messaged and everything, but this is the first time we've spoken, and I'm very honoured that he's kind of been so frank and honest and open with these kind of questions. And I'm sure the community are very appreciative as well, because we're kind of really digging in here, you know, and asking the deep questions and everything. So thank you, June, for that. We've got a question from YouTube from Talahar. A question for June is, what is that special one character you would like to voice someday? So is there something out there that you think, if they did an anime or if they did a live action or even an acting part, what would I like to do? What would it be?
Aside from the magical girl?
Yeah, apart from that
one. I don't have any specific or particular game or project that I want for myself. What I would love and what I would aspire to, certainly, are indeed characters and stories that feel rewarding, genuinely in here, rewarding in the context of I would love to be a part of it, not playing a character in a project per se, but to inject myself into the story and really feel like I'm in it.
Yes, yeah.
Certainly there have been a number of those projects and roles, including Tareen, that I appreciate with gratitude, and I want more of it. I would say.
Cool. That was a lovely answer. Yeah, I totally get where you're kind of coming from on that one. Question, sticking with YouTube. YouTube is knocking it out of the park here with the questions, as they always do. Switching back to Bearded Frog, he would like to know, when it was starting out, obviously like 9 years ago now for you, was it tough finding an agent and actually getting work? Was it a tough kind of project to kickstart?
Yeah. I mean, this voice acting industry in general, is a very competitive field, and everyone. I said this so many times the other day. Everyone is expected to be good.
Yes,
and just to reach the level of good as an actor, as an entrepreneur, and to some extent an audio engineer when you have sessions at home.
Yes.
And these areas of improvement and areas of qualified skills are necessary just to be good. And once you get there, and everybody does who has this as a happiness in their hearts, everybody who gets there will certainly rise above because they want to pursue it further. In a way, this is a marathon. It's a times game where is your conviction, is your desire, is the happiness within truly authentic and real that'll allow you and perhaps permit you to stay in it for 10, 20 years. In which case you might, nothing's guaranteed, you might start to see traction. That's a tough sell, and a lot to digest for anyone starting in this business, in this line of work. But for the actors in the chat, if you know that you're an actor, you know this is a worthy pursuit, 100%.
Excellent. I mean, it's good to hear from somebody who's obviously in the industry. You have to deal, I mean, in all walks of life, you have to deal with disappointment and everything. But I can imagine when you're thinking, I've got that, I feel like I've done a real good job there, and then you don't get the job, it kind of feels like, wow, I thought I actually had that, and it could be disheartening. But you got to keep plugging away. And as you said, with regards making your voice sound good and doing the demo reels well and putting your product out there, there's a lot of skills, not just from being a good voice actor. For you'd have had to do a lot of research into making sure the voice sounds right, the technology around that, because it's very, very difficult unless you pay somebody to do it for you. But if you're doing your recordings from home, etc., then you need that knowledge as well. So was that a difficult thing for you to learn? Obviously you're talking, earlier in your career you were interested in like computer technology, etc. Was it something that was difficult for you, or did it was okay?
Lots of trial and error, certainly. I did not go to a business school. So I knew nothing about marketing myself as a voice actor, running a business, keeping records. What are taxes? What are those, Gary? I have no, all the things.
Taxes? What are they?
No way, right? And then you come to the realization that this is indeed a business and something that I had no concept of really in the beginning. And the investment that an actor makes into their own craft to improve their skills as an actor, to upgrade the microphone or the recording environment. This booth behind me is what's called a studio bricks, and that booth alone is about $10,000 USD. Inside is a microphone that's about $3,000. Interface that's about $1,000. Headphones that are $250, and there's more. So not only is this a financial commitment to invest into, not that you need that on day one, obviously, but it can get very, very intense in the entrepreneurship. But that's any business, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it is. I think if you take a pride in anything, whatever you create, then there's obviously the product that you give out at the end of a project, but it's also the time invested in learning something, how to make it better for yourself and for the end product. There's a lot. There's kind of two. There's the end product, and then there's the beginning for everything and the journey. So it's very interesting to hear. Now it looks like your microphone that you have it looks like a Shure SMB7. See, I know my
Indeed,
microphone.
it's a Shure SM7B. I love this microphone so much. This is what I use at my desk for meetings and streams and interviews and things of that nature. And if I'm acting, I'm in there with a different microphone. Yeah.
So if you need to sound like Tareen, that's the microphone for you.
Correct.
Yeah,
I'm in there.
I'm gonna actually somebody spotted it. Spook Night over on YouTube has noticed that you got the Baron Bunny plush in the background. Interesting. Some very observant people in our streams who know all the different characters and everything. But yeah, well spotted there, Spook Night. I love it. If
you're a Genshin person plays that game, I also used to play that a lot as well. I am one of the rare breeds of Genshin players called an Amber main. I main this character named Amber.
Okay.
And I'm a headshot build, if you're aware, everybody who's listening. Okay. And the headshots, the head-aimed headshots are always crit. And when they hit with my build, everybody, each arrow is about 20k. So that should set some the numbers that are relevant to EVERSPACE, I'm sure, but for the fandom out there, that's
I'm sure there's going to be several players that do understand that absolutely. And
okay,
yeah. So if you need your tips now on not only how to be a voice actor, but how to do a crit headshot build, June is the person that you need to get in touch with. top player. Right, cracking on with more questions. We've got so many people. You're such an interesting person to have on the stream that everybody's asking all these questions, and we love it. Bearded Frog has asked, when you have a long role that you have to change your voice quite a bit for, do you find that you occasionally start speaking that way outside of the gig?
Kind of guilty, yes.
Yeah.
I have come home from a recording session and spoken to my wife in whatever character that I may have been playing that day, and I had to snap myself out of it. Yeah. But no, it's not a common occurrence, not at all. But when you're tired and you've been sitting in traffic coming home, it's a little loopy, right?
Yeah,
where am I right now?
Yeah.
It does happen sometimes.
I think we can all be a little bit guilty. I know certainly when I was younger, if I was around people who had a different accent than myself, if you were on holiday somewhere and you was like a group of people that you've met on holiday or on vacation, and they had this different accent, I would pick up their intonation and how they said certain words, and it was like my parents would be like, "Why are you speaking like that?" And it's just some people absorb things like. Do you ever do that yourself? I can imagine if you're around British people and the way that we talk, kind of thing. All of a sudden, we'd have Tareen sounding like Hive.
Guilty indeed. Very much guilty. I spent about 3 weeks of my as a 17-year-old during a summer. I spent about 3 weeks in the UK.
Yeah, wow, okay.
I was visiting a pen pal. That's another
cool.
story for another day.
Yeah.
But living in the UK with her family and visiting the areas, this little town in Kent, it was lovely. And indeed, by the time I left, I was certainly sounding more British than American by then. Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, we need to get a Hive variant that sounds like Tareen. That'd be an awesome addition. I love it. Switching back to the game of EVERSPACE 2, Bearded Frog would like to know what is your preferred ship type? Now, from what you said earlier, you kind of were grinding maybe in Ceto, so you may have been sticking to I don't know really the Sentinel, but maybe you switched. Did you ever switch your ship, or did you stick with a starter?
I read up on each type.
Okay.
Pros and cons, right?
Good.
And decided that it's got to be a Sentinel. It's well balanced, and I'm all about balance. Tanky ships is one thing, maneuverability is one thing, and if that's your gameplay, that's fine, right? I want the one that's well balanced across the board.
Okay.
It's been that way with racing cars and Mario Kart carts and everything, any other equipment that I've ever had. I want balance, and that's my approach as a gamer.
So there you go. That's it. That's why we choose the Sentinel to start with. It's a very balanced ship, and it fitted June's personality perfectly. So it was a perfect choice for him to carry on with. Switching back now from gaming, Johan Crossover on YouTube was wondering, do you do actually any audio editing yourself? And if so, what do you do?
Oh, plenty. A lot of the work, a big portion of work that I do is not going to be seen in public. The video games, the animation, the audio dramas, and English dubs of things, even anime, is all public facing 100%. But a bigger chunk of my daily work is mostly internal company narration. The e-learning modules that you may go through in some company training thing, or the announcements and videos you might watch in a company conference somewhere. Those things are the bread and butter of pretty much all voice actors. And for those who are focused in character work, are certainly trying to shift away from that as much as we can. And one of the professional goals for myself, indeed, would be to do character work day in and day out, so that it encompasses 100% of my income stream and the thing that I do, certainly. But there's consistency and stability in having a list of clientele who keep coming back to you because you're able to provide them with the service, the quality of audio, the narration, and the working relationship that you offer them. So I am, again, fortunate and grateful to be here, to have a clientele of clients who return regularly and consistently and provide me with work in voiceover, as well as video games and animation and dubbing, things of that nature.
Yeah, so you've obviously got a kind of a spectrum of jobs that you can do. It isn't just voiceovers for anime or games, as you say. It kind of goes beyond that as well. Is it multi-language discipline as well, in your Korean or English, or is it predominantly Korean, or is it a nice split?
It's an even split. Things are balanced, as indeed intended to be this way. If you'll visit this, I forgot the name of it. This is a long time ago. If you'll visit Norway, Norway, it was one of the Scandinavian countries, and go to this castle. I don't remember the name. I apologize. And put on the audio guide and choose the Korean version. And that's me telling you about this castle.
That's cool.
If you live in Australia, New Zealand, and announcements and explainer videos about COVID and prevention of transmission and things of that nature, you'll hear me in the Korean voice, certainly. The stuff that you'll never think about.
If I ever go to any of these places and all of a sudden I hear your voice, I'm going to be like, that's June. I know that guy.
Tour buses that say, please look to your left.
Yeah.
Now coming into view is XYZ things. It's stuff like that too.
Oh, that's cool. That is amazing. I love that. I love that. We've got a few more questions. We won't take up all your time. I know it's very precious and you're very busy. Quick question from Sloreen over on YouTube. I wonder if June likes kimchi. I hope I've pronounced that. Okay, this might be a hell of a question. I think we're going to... there we go. Yes, he does. I think we can put that down as a yes.
I have an office fridge and it's got kimchi in it. Of course it
Love
does.
it. There we go. There we go. Oh, dear. Right. 2 more questions we've got, and then we're going to have to let you go, June, because, as I've said, I don't want to take up all your day. Switching back to YouTube, Bearded Frog would like to know, do you think that a formal training via going an acting school is necessary to get started, and is it a necessary thing for a direct perspective or indirect?
It is not necessary, but it is tremendously helpful. Because stage acting, theater training is something that has been in society for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yes.
Going all the way back to the Greek theater days, if you will.
Yeah.
And because of the tradition, the time that has survived all this time, the curriculum that exists that are specifically geared towards theater or stage acting is longer, is more well developed, and the curriculum of various institutes around your area is stronger because of it, and because they have the test of time on their backs. Learning to be a stage actor is often the first point of entry for everyone. And should you have that training, when you make a shift over to voice acting, it is, of course, absolutely tremendously helpful. Not to say that it's impossible as well. Plenty of voice actors, my colleagues included, started out at the get-go, at the onset as a voice actor. But it all comes down to, I'll relay it one more time, it all comes down to happiness. Is acting, characterization in this industry, this line of work, a genuine happiness and passion and pursuit? Then that's where you start. I'd like everybody to start there.
Excellent. Hell of a starting point, to be fair, where you start with happiness and build from there. I love that answer. Last question now for you then, June, from Magic and Sparkle again over on Twitch. Does your job involve much travel and opportunities to meet people, or do you mostly work from home now using your own tech and audio equipment?
Both, in fact. Voice actors are certainly actors. And the travel that's required is simply from home to a recording studio, or even a living room to the office in the house for myself. And I do both. I'm in LA, so I go into studios to work, and I do work in here as well. Other voice actors and my colleagues are also very famous for playing this character in this anime, these characters in video games and whatnot, and they get invited to conventions around the country and around the world, and so they get to travel, meet their fans, and sign autographs and all the things, which I'd love to do one day, certainly. And when Tareen really takes off, everybody please, right? Talk about Tareen. Let's make it really super famous. I'd love to travel and go to cons and meet fans and shake hands and give hugs, sign autographs, take pictures with babies. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All those things. Lee, we definitely, if you're ever out that way where June is over in LA, then we definitely need to get him to come to the booth and hug everybody and take pictures with babies and probably dress up as Tareen as well. We'll love that. We'd love that.
I would love that. Yes.
Excellent. Right. That is all the time that we have with June. I've got to say thank you very, very much. This has been a long time in coming to fruition, but I'm so glad we finally managed to get to speak together and ask you all these questions. And I think everybody from the team and the community, thank you very much for being a wonderful voice actor for our character, and we really, really do appreciate your work and bringing him to life, because he's such a fabulous character.
It's an absolute honor and pleasure and happiness from my end as well. Thank you very much for having me.
You're very welcome, June. We'll give you June a round of applause. Thank you very much for joining us. He's an absolute legend. I'm hoping we'll speak to him again, and you'll hopefully see and hear him in the new update that's coming your way very, very soon. But yeah, Wrath of the Ancients on May the 12th. June, thank you very much. We're going to bid you adieu for the time being, and then we'll speak to you very, very soon. Take care, my friend.
Thank you, Gary. Bye, everyone.
Right, let's get switched over. We've got some things to show because we've got some screenshots and everything else. And I'm going to say goodbye to June just briefly on our voice chat, and then we shall see you again, hopefully in another time. But thank you, June, for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure as always. Let's find these screenshots and have a little look. See there. So do join us on all the different social medias that you can find us on. We're always there. We're always looking for stuff. Now I need to find the right pictures, don't I? Where's the pictures gone? Because as always, we like to bring in some of your artwork and everything else. And also stuff that we have. Let's do that. And then let's click back onto here. There we go. We're back again. Absolutely, everybody's there throwing in the comments about June. He's an absolutely lovely person. He's genuinely lovely. Yeah, I've been really looking forward to speak to June. He's an absolute legend and brings our game character to life, and very much appreciative and of him joining us. So yeah, here we are. This is screenshot time. Yes, as you know, we do normally have a little section where we look at everything that's coming from the community. If you've got more questions, by the way, do throw them in. In fact, I'll bring them back up so that I can see them, just in case. I didn't mean to get rid of them. So if you do have any more questions, get rid of that. That's the chat questions. You don't want them. So if you have any more questions, do hit me up on there, and we'll try and get those rocking and a-rolling. But this first one is from Bad Medicine. There's a song about that from Bon Jovi in about 1987. Called Bad Medicine, and it's a wonderful shot. There's a lot going on in this one. An absolute plethora of explosions and various other things swarming away, as you can probably see. Very much slurring unlimited power. There's some very much dark side involved in this whole screenshot, but that one's from a Bad Medicine over on Steam. I've not featured one of theirs before, but I did pick this one out, and the team did like it as well. Next up is a great screenshot from a wonderful titled player called Vaughan Freeman. Not Morgan Freeman, Vaughan Freeman. Again, over on Steam, who I think is... I actually really like this one. This is my probably favourite out of the whole bunch. The team disagreed, and I can't help that they're wrong. It is what it is, but this was my favourite, but I don't get to choose, so I couldn't say anything about this one. But I did like this one. If you know from the previous screenshots, I do like when people absolutely nail down the depth of field, and I think they really have. Here's a bomber flying through, obviously Prescott, and then everything's just a little bit blurry in the background. There we go. June Yoon has just popped into our Twitch. Thank you for having me, folks. I'm going to have lunch now. There he is, and he's going to lurk away. But June, thank you very much for that. Thoroughly appreciate it. And if you haven't already, go check out his website. I've got his IMD database link as well, which I'll try and remember to put in the chat at the end as well, so you can all go have a look at his wonderful work and see all the different titles that he's worked on, because he's done a lot. He has done a lot in the 9 years of him being a voice actor and taking acting very seriously. But this one, Vaughan Freeman on Steam, it was a great shot, and like I say, I think he should have been higher up the list, but sadly, it wasn't to be. This was just one that the team thought wasn't as good. Next up is one from JetBrains over on our Discord. So you will find that I check for screenshots over on Discord, on Steam, Reddit, on our socials. If you post it and you let us know, then I'll look at it and I'll decide if the team might want to look at it and give us our viewpoint on it. And I think this one It's nice. I do like this one because of the contrast of the colours and the darkness in the background, but obviously the the blues and the yellows, and then you're popping out into basically the sunshine and that corona of the light spreading across the screenshot. Very nice shot. Do let us know as we show them what you think to them as well. If you really like a specific screenshot, shout it out in the chat. We like to hear what your choices are and everything else. And if you do have screenshots yourself, please do throw them into our Discord and on Steam and everywhere else and say, hey Gary, look at this screenshot I took. I want to see them. I like to see what you are bringing to the table in our glorious game. And I'll guarantee we are going to get an absolute plethora in about 5 weeks time. Yes, when you get your hands on the Wrath of the Ancients, May the 12th. Ooh, do I want to see some screenshots? Yes, I do, sir. RFG Ingvar is there. Hey, all screenshots were good, but we're only allowed one vote. Indeed, there's a little side story here that I'm going to throw your way. When I first introduced the RFG top pick, so that the dev team actually were going to choose just one screenshot, it was very, very difficult for them to stick to that rule. Everybody was choosing 3 or 4 screenshots, and it took, I don't know, maybe about 2 months of reminders that every time I put these screenshots up towards the team, that they could only choose one. And I know I make it a tough choice, but I was having people choosing 2 or 3. Some people had only choose one, and I'm like, it was kind of getting unfair. So I literally limited it to 1. So I'm sure the team would love to choose 3. I really would. But yeah, sometimes you've just got to train the rest of that dev team. You know, they just don't follow the rules. Ingmar saying, look, we want at least 3, maybe all 10. Yeah. Do you see what I've got to put up with? I give them the choices, and then they want 10 of them. Anyway, that was a wonderful screenshot from JetBrains over on Discord. Next up, we've got this very, very colourful one, which is obviously from Dreadnought Battle kind of area, with the greens and the reds. And this one comes in from Taiwan Bear over on Steam. Now, we have featured some of his screenshots before. Obviously, you see the outlaw ships in the background, which are swooping in on his ship. They've probably been launched from the Dreadnought, because you can see the freighters, nice freighters that rich for picking. Not that I'd ever do anything like that. You know, that's a bit heathen-like. But yeah, very cool shot. I did like this one as well. I thought it was very contrasty with the red and the green. Again, it wasn't the top pick by the dev team, but I can't help them being wrong, can I? You know, it's a tough one. You know, you see what I've got to deal with. And next one is from Reddit this time. Somebody who we have been featured last time as well, Livid Big, with a wonderful gunship firing out some fiery flames over at the BRI bioplant next to that. Usually following a few redeemers around here as well, which can be a little bit problematic. Yes, but the Dragon Breath, as we kind of like to call it, is kicking out some green flames there. A lot of pain if you get caught into that wash of green death. And you can see the coloration of their ship is matching as well. They've also got the supporter pack with the rings, looking very splendid. Green and purple, not too sure, but I think it kind of matches the output from his weapon, so we'll give him that. I will give him that. Just bear with me while I just have a quick drink. There's a couple of questions I will answer just while I give my voice a little bit of a break there. Excelsior over on YouTube did ask, which one of the new systems is your favourite? That's a difficult one, because every part of the new systems all have some really cool bits that I like. If I had to choose one, I don't know if I can. I really can't. One of them I do like that I can't tell you the name of, because we're not revealing that one yet. That does have some very nice ones in. So I hate being put on the spot and choosing stuff. All of them. There we go. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to say all of them. And I will have my drink. What an absolutely superb interview. I love that interview anyway. It's going to stick with me as a definite highlight. Definite highlight. Gary Rodriguez over on YouTube is asking, will new gear drop in specific systems, incursions and rifts, or will some gear only drop in challenges like Titans? I think I did answer that one kind of before. There will be some that will kind of drop as you just traverse through the main storyline, etc. Some things that, again, I can't really talk about too much, but there'll be some fun things for you. That's all I'm going to say. And there is a question from Sloreen. This was kind of aimed at June a little bit, but the reason I didn't answer this one or ask this one is because June wasn't the original voiceover artist for Tareen in EVERSPACE 1. We had a different voice actor. So Sloreen was asking, did you change your approach to playing Tareen from EVERSPACE 1? Well, no, because he was a different voice actor. And how did you evolve the character? So it's a little bit of an awkward one to kind of answer. So I didn't put that one towards June, just for kind of clarity on there. So, but I think he knocks it out of the park, and I really like how he's very much... He is Tareen. He's very balanced, a lot of gravitas. He thinks things are right, and he should say that things are right. So I think we've got an amazing actor to play that part. But keep them questions coming. We've got about another 10 minutes or so of this. Next up is another one of our wonderful screenshots. And this time, as me and June were talking about, this is the Taxman. This guy is called Taxman over on Steam, who created this wonderful shot, which is, I think, it's just amazing. It really brings out the depth and the distance of our game. Now, I know obviously our instances don't allow you to go everywhere, but I just think the art team always knock it out of the park. You think, I can see that in the background. I'm going to be able to fly there if I go into super light. And it's like, yay. How cool is that? We're very blessed. We're very lucky to have the whole team, to be fair. They're all passionate. I know June was talking about having that passion and that happiness in the job that you do. And it's very true. I think you do need to have that. And I think June has it in bundles. And I think the team do as well, to have that passion to create something as beautiful as this. And we're very, very lucky that you guys enjoy it as well, because that's what we make the games for. It's because you keep buying them and wanting to play those games, which is so cool. Next up then, this one was a cute little one. And this, again, is from Steam. And this is from The Cat. I don't know whose cat, but he was called The Cat. And I think his title for this one was The Little Yellow Taxi. So he's obviously working on the yellow cab from kind of New York, with the little waspy stripes on it there. And I think it's a really cool image that the team did like. You know, we're digging into the definite top echelons now of those. Excelsior, what do you think? Which one of the new systems will be featured the most in upcoming screenshots? I see what you're doing there. That's sneaky. That's so sneaky. I think all of them. Excelsior. I love that. I love that. One day I'm actually going to trip myself up, aren't I? And I'm just going to reveal something when somebody does that, because I'll be just so ensconced in the question I won't realise you can't know that. Talahar says, the cats have now been playing EVERSPACE 2. Way to make you into a feline. Exactly. That's what you do. You say, you know, you get the cat involved. You get the cat involved. Oh dear. Right. So we are into the top 3. Okay. Now again, I can't help that the team are wrong, but this is their choice for 3rd place for this week. And it is this one from Mr. Skywalker over on Steam. Now, I don't know if it's that Mr. Skywalker, first name Luke, or Anakin, not entirely sure. But this is their choice for 3rd place. Now, this is also because I might add June's top pick. This is actually June's favourite, because I thought, wouldn't it be nice if out of all of these screenshots that we're going to be showing, if June actually picked out his favourite as well. And this was actually his favourite. Absolutely tell her that's wallpaper right there, definitely. Now, June did actually say a few words about this, and speaking overall about the game, the thing that struck me immediately was the quality of art. Such detail, specificity, imagination. I was blown away by it all. And this screenshot represents that quality in the artwork as well as the expansive nature of this game to me. There's so much content and wide, diverse universes to explore. This truly is a wonderful game and experience for everyone, and I'm honoured to be part of it. So that is from June. That is exactly his words, his thoughts after he picked this one out as his favourite for this week. But it wasn't the team's favourite, and again, I can't help them being wrong. But, you know. A Bearded Frog was Ultra Premium June Selects. That'd be really, really cool, actually. Yeah, I'm sure we'll try and get June back on again and have another conversation, because it was such a lovely thing. But so we're on to second place. Okay, this one's second place, and this one is from Heretic. We're over on Steam. Now, if you've played through the game at all, you'll be very aware about the mysteriousness of this area and how it evokes certain feelings in you when you're here, and the storyline that is involved here, which I think, personally, a lot of people do enjoy, even for its kind of eeriness and depth, and I want to say scariness as well, because you just don't know what's going on in there. But that is a very cool screenshot by itself. You know, the shadow, the light, the corrosion, everything that's here is just so cool. Really is cool. Sloreen's like, strange, I've seen that place before. Deja vu all over again. See, there's lots of people that love this place. There he is, Child's Play. Indeed. Right, so this is the top choice this week from the dev team. Again, I did not choose this. Okay, I'm not allowed to vote anyway, but this was overwhelmingly the top choice. And this one is again from JetBrains over on our Discord, and this is the winner for this week. There we go. We can give him a round of applause. The team thought this was a wonderful shot. Again, we've got the gunship swooping, I say, as we go. Swooping in with a whole lot of action going on. With destruction, we've got the rocket being fired at the ship. I think what's very, very clever is that you pick out all these red light sources, like there's one over there, two over there, there's another one there, and, you know, down here and everywhere. And then all of a sudden, it's when you realize that the red from the exhaust of the back of that missile just kind of fits in with the rest of the look of that screenshot. And I think it's very, very cool. Plus one for gunship. Yeah, Talahar loves it. Yes, 2 or yes, 1. Yeah, okay. Too much eligible space debris. Yeah, there's going to be a few things flying around. Exactly. So this was the top choice from the team. Again, I can't help them being wrong or right. You know, if you disagree, then please let it be known. Don't email me. That's not my fault. I only give them the options every week. But yeah, there's absolutely cracking screenshots, and I love delving through them to pick out the best ones, because I then get to put them to the team and they go, wow, that's good. Oh, I like that one. And then they only get one choice and then they complain about it. There we go. We can't have everything. Right. While we're still looking at that one, I'll go back to June's screenshot, because that was his choice, and I think it's a great honor that he chose that for everyone. Oh, I've just remembered. I nearly forgot again. A good job I did a reminder. Let me find it. No, that's a screenshot, so I don't want you there. Go away. We want to, let me just get rid of this. I nearly forgot. You may remember a few weeks ago, and I forgot this the other stream. We were so busy. We asked you all across Reddit, across Discord, and across YouTube to choose your favorite level 5 player perk. And I forgot to reveal the whole culmination of your replies the last time we met. So I just remembered now. Now, this is Discord. 12% of people thought exit strategy was their choice of the level 5 perk. Close call was 36%, which allows you to deploy a shield to stop lethal damage. And then defensive massacre, which gives you instant shield recharge, won with 52%. Now, the reason there's a tick here is because I chose close call. I did vote in that one because, hey, I get to choose as well. But, yeah, so that was just Discord. As we shift along, this was Reddit's answer. Notice how it's different. And this says Bearded Frogs. I'm not surprised Gary picked close call. Yep, you know, if the tool is there, I will choose it. So this one over on Reddit gave us 32% chose exit strategy, which was 25% reduced damage. Only 5 people, which was 13% of the vote, did close call. You know, they're obviously better players than I am. And then again, defensive massacre, which was the instant shield recharge with 55%. I should work them percentages out, by the way. Was the top choice over on Reddit. And then last and certainly not least, God forbid, this was YouTube's choice. So obviously every 5 levels you gain a player perk, but which is the one you take at level 5? Exit strategy again was there. The least favourite with 15% of the votes. Close call was 30%. And then again, defensive massacre was 67 votes in total, giving us 57% of the total votes. Now, when we add them all up together, we get all this calculation going on the screen. Exit strategy, 18%, close call, 27%, and then defensive massacre was there with an average of 55% across all of them. So I think we can pretty much call that a win for defensive massacre, which I think a lot of people will have chosen as well, even if you didn't vote. But there we go. Right, before we disappear and we all venture off to, you know, either go to sleep or enjoy the rest of our day, whatever we're doing, just a reminder, May the 12th is when we will be launching Wrath of the Ancients, yes indeed, which is going to cost you $29.99 US dollars, $29.99 euros, and $24.99 English pounds, and then 3,900 Japanese yen. Other prices will be available as well, but they are the predominant ones that we're just going to go through. What else we got? Oh yeah, if you have dollars, you know, where do I go to see what else is coming with Wrath of the Ancients? That's the webpage, which is our Steam store. Take a look there. Go have a look. And please do wishlist us. It does help us. I know it sounds like it doesn't, but it does actually help us quite significantly, just having a wish list. And also, if you haven't already, it'd be very appreciative if you'd leave a review. Good or bad, we don't mind. Obviously, we'd rather that they were good. Who wouldn't? But we were very open to critique and feedback, so please do let us know. If you've got any problems with the game, hit us up over on the discussion forums and we'll try and sort things out for you as best we can. It's my job predominantly to do that, so you know, I get the team involved to help me out and we'll try and get you all shipshape and Bristol fashion. If you're interested in any other things, such as maybe playing on the Xbox, currently this weekend we've got Xbox free play days, so if you have a Game Pass subscription, you can actually play it over the weekend for free up until I think it's midnight Sunday Pacific time. So if you haven't already tried it, now is the time. Get it downloaded, play it over the weekend, see what you think. Winner, winner. If you prefer things on PC, then Indie Games promo is on over on GOG, which gives you discounts across all of your the content for EVERSPACE 2 as well as EVERSPACE 1, so dive in there. Gary's from Bristol. I'm definitely not from Bristol. Definitely the wrong end of the country. PlayStation, if that is your vice, then you can dive in for their spring sale because there's 65% off EVERSPACE 2 and also 20% off the supporters pack there. And then lastly, Nintendo Switch. Now, this is obviously the original Nintendo Switch. The Stellar Edition of EverSpace 1 is 85% off. So if you've got the Nintendo Switch, that is hellishly good bargain, I must say. Dive in there. Dive in there. Yeah, I'm definitely from the north of England. Absolutely, definitely north of England. So dive in there and have your pleasure with the EVERSPACE 1 Stellar Edition. So I think that kind of wraps it up. I don't think we've got any more questions that have come in that I need to answer, because I think we ploughed through them all. And I think I need to thank you all for throwing those questions in for June. A big thank you for June to taking time out of his busy day. He's a very busy man with all the work that he does, and he's a very happy, cool guy to speak to, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope we'll speak to him again in the future. And yeah, things are looking good. So, as I said earlier, if you missed it, 2 weeks' time there won't be a stream, okay? There won't be a stream because I'm not here. I'm taking vacation. However, we are going to be doing a shorter stream next Friday. I will be putting details up in the Discord. I'll be changing up the timing on there, but we'll be doing same time, but it's going to be a shorter stream, but we're going to be showing some stuff off. So you definitely want to be there. Maybe. Because as we build towards obviously release, we're going to be showing more and more things, but we're not going to show you everything. So don't expect everything, but we're going to be showing some stuff. So I hope you can join us for that next week. Any problems, do dive into the Discord, Steam forums, wherever. I'll try and pick up your messages. And thank you again for being a wonderful community. I'm very, very lucky to be your community manager, and I thoroughly enjoy doing these streams and showing off the wonders of EVERSPACE 2 on behalf of the team. So without further ado, I'm going to bid you adieu. We shall see you next week. And I'll play you out with that little trailer again for the Wrath of the Ancients release date. So, in the meantime, folks, take care, be good. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Hello? Hello out there? Can anyone hear me?
Mayday.
Oh, hell broke
We
loose.
threw everything at them, but they just...
What's your situation? Said it was a hostile contact.
Is there anyone who can assist?
Citizens of the Beltigrades, human settlements face attack by unknown forces.
This is the tip of the iceberg.
Someone needs to get to the bottom of it.
You may travel with us and access our secret places. This universe is merely their dream. One day, all this will disappear with their waking.
A human? Helping us?
No more. I won't let anyone start another war.
Your tongues may mislead us. Or perhaps you mislead yourselves.
Lift up to the light the grains of sand that formed you.
May the peace of the ancients be upon us all. At last.
Get to an escape pod!
The portal is closing. Brethren, flee while you may.
My God. A terrible miracle.